Yeah. We have a brand new podium here that people are welcome to stand up and use when you make sure everybody signs in, and if you'd like, come up and talk to us, that's fine. Or you can just stand at your chair and yell at us. Yeah.
I turned it.
Anybody need a agenda?
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Tim.
Thought I passed it on. No, did you guys get it? Yeah.
Some of them are sharing back there.
They said it's sideways. I don't know if you want to turn it. That's fine.
Is it doing it online?
That's
Yes,
what
it's
Randy-
sideways though.
If you turn your
It's
phone
like
to
this.
flip, if
You
turn
can
your
just
phone
turn
to
it that
flip-
way.
No, just flip it upside down.
Randy, if you turn your phone as a flip, watch it that way, you're doing that suggestion.
I'm just saying.
Nope.
You're just gonna mess it up turning it.
Upside down.
Is it upside down now?
Yep. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, it's sideways, but.
What if you turn it upside down?
I don't know what happened.
It goes sideways.
I don't know. I think it's because it's full screen.
I think we can go ahead and get started if everybody wants to stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I think there's a couple chairs up here. Look at the crowd. We never- Announcements. We have the Pottery Festival, June 6th and 7th. We have Town Hall closed Friday, June 6th. Clay City Community VBS is the 16th through the 20th. The fair is June 21st through the 29th. And then we have Jeff Fritz, who has something he wants to talk about.
Okay, thank you. And I will use your new podium.
Thanks.
Yeah. I'm Jeff Fritz. I'm done with these notes for you. They're not too long. I've lived in Clay City all my life. In full transparency, I live right outside of town, so I live right west of town. But I have really fond memories of growing up here in Clay City and great pride in our community. I was recently elected to the county council. I'm hoping to see some additional housing and overall improvements across the county, including Clay City. Recently at county council meeting, a presentation was given by Ryan Keller with Thrive on some blight grants. I don't know a whole lot about them, but they are coming out in August. I would encourage the board to look into those. Maybe some blight properties. There's some matching grants, but again, they write down his name, Ryan Keller with Thrive, and get a hold of him, and he can certainly give you some information on that. There's also a group right now that's researching a pickleball court, a grant there, which would be a great thing for the town for a variety of reasons, for the health of the whole community. I was talking to somebody in another town recently, and the neighborhood he grew up in, the park was really run down. They applied for a grant for a pickleball court. They have a pickleball court there. The whole park seemed to spruce up, and the neighborhood did. So things like that can really help our town out. Prior to retiring 2 years ago, I served as the superintendent of Clay Community Schools, and during my time, we did a major building project at Northview High School and Clay City High School. And we allocated $14 million to Clay City High School. The existing building, the existing gym, building the auxiliary gym. We also spent about another $1 million on the outdoor sports complex, which I'm heading as soon as I get done talking, to see the girls softball game. So, but if you've not been in our building, if you've not been in the sports complex, it's really something to be proud of. In our little town to have a K-12 facility, we are extremely fortunate, extremely blessed. I know as superintendent, and I worked also as the high school principal here for a few months here recently, visitors who come to our school from other schools will tell you, this is around the state, especially the high school, they will tell you we probably have one of the best 1A facilities in the state. So we have something that little towns just don't have. So we are very, very fortunate. I well understand from firsthand experience as a school superintendent, as a building principal, the stresses and the responsibilities associated with leadership. You as town board members, I'm sure you understand this as well. However, when we agree to do those things, we know we have those responsibilities. We know we have things we have to get done. And also rarely do people come to you and say, thank you for the streets looking so nice, or building a new water tower. Typically when they come to a board meeting or when they call you, they're needing something, they're not happy about something. So with this said, I appreciate your willingness to accept these challenges. Recently, there was a visitor from out of state who was here for a business venture and talked to a few of us. And I talked to this lady before she came from North Carolina. And I really bragged up our little town, bragged up our Mayberry of the Midwest, bragged up Clay City, because again, I've lived here all my life. I love where I live. I don't want to live anywhere else. And so she came and visited, I met with her. I said, so I bet our little Mayberry is quite different from where you live at in North Carolina. And here's her response. I was surprised how run down the town is. And you know what? That hurt. But you know what? She's not wrong. She's not wrong. Like I said, I grew up here. I've lived within a mile of where I've always lived all my life. I grew up in Girltown. You know where Girltown's at? Girltown is in the west side of our big town, right south of the park. Lisa and I grew up there with mom and dad, older house, older homes in the neighborhood, but people kept their homes up. There was a few mobile homes there, they kept them up. When Carol and I were first married, we tore down a house in Girltown. We put a little mobile home there, built a deck on, built a garage. We're very proud of our place. We kept it up. We worked hard at it. The home I live in right now, here in about 3 years, will be 90 years old. So we're not talking about building new homes. But I'll tell you, there's a stark difference in the neighborhood that I grew up in the town I grew up in, than there is now. Pride in homes. There was pride in homes, no matter how small, how big, how new, how old. Pride in yards. Pride in front porches. I don't ever remember looking at trashy yards. I just don't, growing up. But if you drive around right now in our little town, it's discouraging. Now, I'm not talking about building new homes. I'm not talking about major remodeling. I'm talking about some common sense responsibility and respect for the neighbors, respect for the town, respect for the community. Some might say, well, that's just small town America today. But I would beg to differ. I encourage you, I ask all 3 of your board members to do something. Drive through Centerpoint. Drive through Centerpoint. It's a whole different mindset because the leadership there has expectations. You don't see this stuff. You don't see rundown houses. You don't see trash on porches. You just don't, because the expectation's there and they follow through with it. Before becoming superintendent, I served as a building principal for nearly 2 decades. And honestly, I didn't have a lot of major discipline issues. A couple reasons. We had a discipline policy and we followed through with it. There were times I had to make some tough decisions, and there were times I didn't make everybody happy, but we didn't have a lot of major discipline problems. Town ordinances are very similar to school discipline policies. If you have them, but you don't follow them, we shouldn't be surprised at the results we get. Ordinances are there for a reason. Laws are there for reasons. For instance, you rarely ever see somebody driving down Main Street 60 miles an hour. Do you, Terry?
No.
Why is that? There's a healthy fear of getting a ticket. There's a healthy fear of following through with that law. But unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be the same respect for the healthy fear of the town ordinances that have to do with keeping your yard cleaned up, keeping your front porch cleaned up, keeping your house cleaned up. You know, one time when Carol and I were traveling, we drove through this little town, a little smaller than Clay City. Older homes, older neighborhoods, older downtown, but all well kept. And one little house outside of town, you could tell was well over 100 years old, had some paint peeling on the siding, but whoever lived there was very proud of that little home. The yard was well kept, the front porch was as neat as a pin, and there were some flower pots hanging. This homeowner, you could tell, didn't have much, didn't have a lot of money. But by golly, they were proud of their house, and they took care of it. We need to instill this type of pride back in our town. And you as town board members play a crucial role in this. Matter of fact, I think the most important role. I can't get it done. If I could, I'd do it. I can't get it done. So as a former school administrator, I know there are people wanting to move here. As superintendent, I can tell you. As building principal, I can tell you, there's people that want to move into Clay City. They want a smaller town. They want that small school environment. If you watch the news this morning, Vial County is gonna have some tough times with the new building project, consolidation. I can tell you, there's people want to move here, but they don't want to move next to a blight property. They don't want to move next to a property that's unkept. Years and years ago, you look this up, there was a study done, it was an experiment. It was called the broken window theory. You ever heard of that? It's really neat. It was a broken window theory. So what happened was, there was this neighborhood, it was in this city. Neighborhood was well maintained. It was an older neighborhood, kind of like what I grew up in. And there was one building that was an old warehouse or an old store or whatever, but it was well maintained. The building was, the grounds were, but they did an experiment on purpose. They broke out one window in that building. Soon after, some other windows were broken out. Soon after that, the properties around there started getting vandalized. Soon after that, the whole neighborhood went down. Crime and the whole neighborhood as far as the facilities go. This, unfortunately, is coming to fruition in our little town, but it can be rectified. Some might say, let people live the way they want to live. Well, there's responsibility of being a neighbor. There's responsibility of being a citizen in town. There's responsibility of being part of Clay City. However, we're witnessing some positives. If you notice, there's been 2 blight houses were torn down on I Street. And a newer home is being built right south of the park. Also notice a new garage going up right behind First Financial Bank. So there's some good things happening. You know, again, I appreciate your commitment to our community, your willingness to listen to my plea, and I'm very passionate about this. I'm very passionate about our community. I'll close with this. Every little town in Indiana our size, every little town in Indiana our size would almost do anything to have the school we have. I can guarantee you, they would almost do criminal activity just to have the school we have. High schools will attract and retain its citizens. High schools will attract and retain families, businesses, churches, and the community. And elementary will not. Look at Patricksburg. We've got a K-12 facility here. Quite honestly, the school system has done their part. We've given you a wonderful school to be proud of. So as elected leaders, I encourage you to drive around our town and pretend you're someone wanting to move to Clay City. Would you be encouraged or would you be discouraged? And I implore you to take a close look at our ordinances, maybe develop some new ones and enforce them. I'm not talking about being mean to people. I'm talking about giving them a chance. You know what? Your property's been like that for 2 years. You got 3 months. The house needs to be torn down. We're giving you 6 months. You have to follow through, just like I did with this one policy. It's a tough decision, but it's betterment for our town today, betterment for decades to come. I'm excited about some possibilities with these blight grants. I'm excited about the possibility of pickleball court. And at this time, I will entertain any questions.
I don't have any questions, but I will make a statement.
Mhm.
We have tried to enforce a lot of the trash issues. When we have cleanup day, we take letters to the people, say free trash haul, you know, bring your stuff here. They don't do it, so how do you get people to do that? And they want you to come do it for them.
Mhm.
And I don't think that that's really the answer, because then the next year you're gonna do it again. As far as what we do for town, I thought it was more important for me to focus on, or us to focus on, putting a new, water treatment plant in, to do storm sewers, to do this. If we don't have those things first, no one's gonna live here. So, I understand what you're saying, but some of the things that you want about tearing down and stuff, we have fought the store on Main Street that's lost its roof
The old
years
red
ago. 3 different owners, and every time we're just about to get somewhere in court, they sign it over to somebody else. So there is not a fact that we're not trying to do a lot of the cleanup. It's just, it's fighting a losing battle.
Well, and again, I'll go back, you know, you may give people a warning if they're speeding on Main Street. But you give them 2 or 3 warnings, maybe just 2, then it becomes punitive. Then it becomes painful. Okay, you know, we had the trash day, you didn't do it. I gave you a citation, I told you you had 3 months to get it done. Now, we start attaching something to it. Now it's costing you, $50 a month, we're attaching it to your water bill. You know, and eventually, and again, I'm not an attorney, so you have to talk to your attorney. Eventually it becomes town property. It becomes town property, there's people in this room right here who'll buy those properties and clean them up.
All these people have pride, but there's a lot of people that don't. You can't force somebody to have pride.
You can't force them to have pride, but you can force them to clean stuff up. Again, I'll use my analogies as a school principal. People say, well, kids come from certain homes, or you can't force kids to behave. Yeah, I can. Or I can make it very difficult on you. I can make it very difficult on you. And so, you as town board members, again, your job right now is elected leaders. Your job right now is you're the executive branch of our community. And you have to make executive branch decisions, which again, sometimes isn't gonna make everybody happy. We've got a guy who owns several properties here in town, and the roof's falling in. Well, then something needs to be done. It should, if we don't do anything, and again, I know one of the town board members talked to somebody here recently and said, we've got to clean up here. The guy said, yeah, I need to do something. I took some stuff up there, and we keep our place pretty neat. I took some stuff up there. They don't clean it up, then again, it becomes punitive. It becomes painful. You have to make tough decisions. It isn't easy. I've been there. It's not easy. So, and again, I'm not talking about being mean-spirited people. I'm just saying, hey, we've warned you for 3 months now. Now, understand there's a penalty for that. And again, we're not talking about tearing down your house and building a new one. We're talking about cleaning it up. So, other questions? I apologize for leaving, but I got a softball game calling me at our $1 million outdoor complex. Thank you guys, I appreciate you listening.
Anybody else? We'll just go ahead and do public.
Quick comment.
Yeah.
You mentioned pride, these things are contagious. So is slovenliness. You start fixing things, getting people to clean things up, that kind of becomes a more contagious thing, and people start to get under it. You can't force people, but you can show them an example and then give them encouragement by way of the fines or levies or whatever you want to call it. And between the carrot and the stick, you'd be surprised how quickly people will come around. These things are contagious.
And I would agree. They are contagious, and, taking pride in one's home is important in our small community. And I know you mentioned Main Street and the old red and white store. And that's, you've got personal property, but then you've got retail property. So I understand the difficulties of 2 different things there. But the personal properties, those are ordinances that could be, as Jeff said, punitive after some time. Red and white store, I understand that's a little bit more difficult. I've looked at the ownership of the businesses on Main Street. I don't know, a lot of those people are. I have no idea who they are.
They just buy it at tax auction.
Yeah, so there it is. But the personal properties in town, private properties, we know who those people are. And we know that they're there. So they have a responsibility to take care of things.
With business properties, can you put a lien on it? If you have an ordinance in place that says do such and such, they don't do it, put a lien on it. And then when it comes time to sell, then there's a lien on that property, and the new owner will be able to find that with a title search.
We put liens on property for sewer bills. We put liens on properties for, not water, what is it?
Is it mowing? Are you doing that for the mowing?
Yes, mowing.
Criminally in violation.
When they don't mow.
I thought we found out
The county doesn't do it. We're having Chris look into us doing it. Like, me collecting the money and then me going to the courthouse. and doing all the paperwork with Chris's, we'll pursue it.
But
No, I know it's hard.
it is.
Don't disagree with that at all.
You
Maybe the
know-
punitive amounts need to be more instead of, I don't know,
Dave,
25,000.
it's just like you were, this is a different subject, but you were trying to get streetlights. We finally got new streetlights and now everybody's complaining, why did you spend money on streetlights? So it's just like a no-win situation, no matter what you're gonna do. The water tower, we need that water tower, but everybody can't understand that because the other one's still standing. Well, they don't keep repairing it, you know? They don't keep pouring money into it, so it's,
People don't understand what they
Yeah.
don't know, and they don't understand
yeah,
what
and
they
people
can't
don't
see.
understand that this is a small town and there isn't that much money to operate on, especially right now. You know, until we can recoup some funds and do some things, we still are short on money.
I got a great idea how to get some money.
Okay,
Levy fines if people don't clean up the property.
Which would help, but the problem, some of this is as the person doing the water bills, it's like pulling teeth just to get people to pay their water bill. And you're shutting them off and you're locking them. And then there's like 57 meters around town we gotta check, and some of these I was already looking at, they're locked out. These people evidently are hauling water into their house so that they can have water evidently, but it's, the big scheme of thing is, some of these properties, yes, they do need to be cleaned up. We're just doing good just to get the money for the water bill so that the town even has money to do anything with. And then some of these, you know, yeah, you fine them or whatever, they're just not paying.
you're
They're just
talking,
like, fine, we'll buy bottled water because we can't pay this. So
I'll tell
I
you
don't
about
know
one
the
of the
answer.
ordinances that we did. We've been fighting this horse ordinance for years. We have a person in town that we have put in a grandfather thing, so she already had 2 ponies. Okay, and then we went and hired our lawyer to fight it, and then we had Fair Housing Authority get a hold of us, and then she claimed them as support horses and all of that stuff. And I just simply said, how many support animals does one person get to claim? Because four horses? This is not a farm, but you can't tell people, there's a 5 chicken ordinance thing, but how many do you see running across the road?
I understand if you got ordinances, you need to do something to enforce them. When people play that game, they play that game, but I think a lot of people, if they get the notice, they'll say, okay, I'll clean it up rather than, you know.
A lot of these properties, people that own them, I don't know how they own them, but it's like getting, what is it, blood from a turnip? You could fine them $500 a day, and then you got the lawyer fee, taking the court, and, we're doing amazing just to keep our head above water, considering the last 4 years that we've been blindsided by, and that's enough said about that, but, we have worked with lawyers. These guys try to get the cars out here. We've been battling with the North's garage area for years. Ronnie can tell you about that. And then, I mean, it comes down to writing a ticket and getting it all the way through the lawyer, back, and it's, I agree with Jeff, and everybody doesn't wanna live next to a dump pile, but, you know, we're working on it. I know that's not maybe satisfactory, but we are.
I would like to say, well, at least 90% of the people in Clay City are responsible homeowners who have got to take care of the properties and all that. But it doesn't seem like the alternative is to do nothing, right? Because those of us who are doing our part, making the town better, making things look good, it's impacting our property values as
Yeah.
well.
But we're not doing nothing. We're still mowing yards that people don't mow. We're still doing
I
all these
understand
things.
that. I'm not bashing them.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just making a comment. It's impacting our property
Yeah.
values, so.
I know. I went around and took all kinds of pictures, a month ago, of the trash and piles, and we've started, supposedly, they're down there in the process on Seventh and Outline right now. Well, they need a dumpster and a loader and then, but like you said, they don't, you can't make people
Better people.
have pride or, you know, take it, you just can't. It's like, we were talking earlier before I got here about truck drivers still coming down this way, or going all the way through Maine, which Maine turns into a one-lane road.
Right.
Running through Kissing Bridge, running over fire hydrants and stop signs. And,
That's
you
a
know, we can put
weekly
up
thing.
1,000 signs out there, but they're still gonna follow their GPS and go wherever it takes them, you know? So, I'm open to any suggestions that, from anybody in the community, like Jeff talked to us and wanted to come and talk to us, and, we'll definitely pursue the Thrive thing with that Ryan Keller, and, try to get more bite on our, ordinances, which we're working, with the lawyer to try to upgrade those. We really are. I mean, he come at a time where we have already begun to start doing this, so,
That's good, that's fantastic.
yeah.
And it sounds good, it seems like we have a choice, we can become more like Centerpoint or more like Patricksburg.
Yeah, no, and I'm scared to go through Patrick.
Well, yeah, but, you know, it starts somewhere, and
Right.
apparently it's already started to some degree.
Well,
I don't
we're,
know that the water tower situation, though, has a direct bearing on what we're talking about here.
and you know, some people are
I
still
was-
pissed about that water tower
I was just
and
bringing
getting a
up
Clay
funds.
City eel
okay.
put on it
Funds.
for the Clay City High School.
Yeah,
That,
well,
how can you,
Yeah.
you know,
I understand, there are people, they complain if you hung them with a new rope,
right,
but
So-
there's, at some point, maybe it's time to hang some people.
yeah,
Metaphorically
I agree. Okay,
Maybe we can ask the
Well,
lawyer about getting.
we're all in agreement that things
People in
need to
trouble
be
can clean
changed
up
and
the
we're in the
house.
process. So let's move on to something else to discuss.
Anybody else got something?
Thank you for the new water tower.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Thank you, Vinnie, for that.
It'll get.
Thank you for your donations if you donated. I
Is
mean,
that something we could talk to Chris
I'd
about?
like to, yeah, just
Is
piggyback for a
seeing
minute on
if
that.
we could get community
Who's-
service in to help with some of these properties that are concerning so many people. I mean, cause the town ain't got the money, but
You would
to
have
pay
to go through
laborers.
community corrections to
Private
see if
property.
they can go on
I know
private
that's what I
property.
mean.
What's the
Is it
thing
something we
is,
could
though,
talk to Chris about?
I mean, you see people like nowadays where they sit there and they have to choose between prescriptions or eating or whatever. And it's the same for probably some of these people. You know, it's not saying that they don't want to do certain things, but maybe they just can't.
I know a
You know,
dumpster's like
So
$3
at that,
some
at that
dollars.
point, what does the person do though? I don't know.
Go to a local church and ask for help.
Some can't, but many can.
Yeah,
And the ones who can, I think, would respond if it was gonna pinch them in the wallet a little bit.
Make it a little bit difficult.
There has to be some
Okay.
consequence.
let's,
I'll just add as a landlord, my husband and I have owned Willow Tree Apartments since 2019. I've sat on their board of directors since 2012. When I became active with that property, we enforce very strict rules on cleanliness, on late rents, on a lot of the same things that you guys are probably facing. We have attached things, we have sued people, and I think we've collected on 2. So, you know, just to kind of put it in perspective, I do think it's really important that you guys go out and you write citations and you do things like that, but I think the general public also needs to realize that it's an investment for the town also, because you guys are paying manpower to go out and do those things that you're probably not gonna get your money back on. Because if it's not there, you're not gonna get it.
well, hopefully we'll get something done with the session when we have it with the lawyer. Go ahead, let's move on.
That's all. Midwestern invoice. So,
Attached to your packet is the Midwest Engineers invoice, number 2023108000-07 for $13,837.13. We are gonna be paying that out of ARPA. Can I get a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to pay that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Okay. We also have the contractor's application for payment number 7 in the amount of $71,100, and it's going to be paid out of the Okra Fund. Can I get a motion to approve that?
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Get approval of last month's minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve last month.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. We also, will just state the fact that we had an emergency executive meeting the day after our meeting last month because we realized there was some sensitive information on our banking accounts that were in our open meeting that were televised. So we had to change funds. So that was the reason that there was that meeting. And it was already been approved. We don't have any more public comments. Clerk's report.
We're in compliance with all of the State Board of Accounts, and other entities. We're following the reports. Anything that wasn't filed in 2024, I'm currently working on. The girls at the bank are wonderful to work with. We've not had any issues. Our hiccups, bank reconciliations are still underway for the 2024. We've also got our state taxes are current, and the 941s have been filed and approved. So everything is moving forward and looking good. And it's nice to be in compliance.
Police department.
New cameras in, but we can't put it up till we get the piece of covering to deflect the wire from it. We did some grass tickets, we've, towed off a couple junk cars, printers up and going. That's pretty much it.
Water.
I believe up front you have the one adjustment and you have how much the water bills were billed out for and people that are behind. We did not shut anybody off, but the list is in front of you.
Is this your adjustment, Gail?
That is for you guys to look at. That's what she messaged me. That's a decision on your, I don't have any clue what you wanna do with
Okay.
that.
So the one adjustment's Cora Fag.
Yes.
She's not fixed yet. It says calling a plumber.
Mhm.
Okay. If she has it fixed and,
I believe it's like a broken, her
Yeah.
main is broke from her meter to her house.
so do you wanna make a motion if she gets it fixed to adjust her sewer bill? Or her water bill?
I'll make a motion to adjust it.
We've had four or five people filling pools, so that I've
Yeah.
been making those adjustments according to,
Yeah.
yeah,
If you have
accordingly.
time, go write their number down and then go back and write it down when they're full.
Mhm.
Otherwise, have them take a picture of their, how many gallons they
Yep.
use and adjust it that way. These are disconnect. Well,
How much did we bill for?
We did go up by 5 new customers, and that's only because I found them because they were been using water for over a year and just thinking they could get water for free. So I shut them off until they come in here and pay their deposit, but that's, I'm gonna say out of the 57 other meters I gotta check in town, we might gain another 10.
Mhm.
But for some reason, people just think they should get water for nothing.
Gone are those days.
Yeah.
Sewer department.
Well, sir, we're good. We still haven't put the new UV bulbs in or anything, because since I shut the water clarifier down, we're still fine. So until we have an issue, I'm not gonna put them in. Everything else is fine. All of our samples are fine. We're in compliance with everything, so.
Did you get your little air conditioner for that small room?
No, actually, I was gonna measure that today and I forgot. So I'll do that tomorrow.
You might have an extra one home.
Yeah. So I'll get a measurement on that, cause probably Amazon or whatever,
Yep, or Walmart, any
Yeah,
tax
Walmart.
exemption.
so.
Street department.
Believe I completed about 60 locates since last meeting. We fixed that damaged main down on 900 South then as well. Been slowly getting everything knocked down.
The
on the
900
rest.
did you get the ditch flowing? Did you take the mini back out?
Not yet.
Okay, you need to put that.
And I'll push all that dirt in that trench as well. But as of right now, everything's caught up. Just waiting on some paint to come in so I can continue on locates. The black truck is in. I'll find out tomorrow what the diagnosis with that is.
Who's requesting all the locates?
Just joint, frontier, private, Joint's located my resident.
Frontier's not
I
done
don't
yet.
know why. We're not doing anything. They're dropping, they're actually hooking people in and dropping them.
Are they the ones that dug up South Main Street?
That was their
No,
point.
that was Center Point. That was they had to cap off with a gas line. On my,
Okay,
They did that at Fifth.
so you got the paint exchange, the yellow for the orange.
I do have a couple of gallons of the, traffic yellow to repaint these. Not the safety yellow.
The correct yellow.
Yeah.
The yellow
The
orange,
traffic
we're good.
Yeah.
The one that you wanted.
Alright. I just wanted it to match
Nope, it's been fixed.
the state highway. Okay, so the water adjustment, did you make a motion to do that?
Yep, done.
Yeah.
Old business, we have the tower update. They're behind again on days worked. They were supposed to be done painting by the 6th, now it's gonna be the 16th. Disinfected in the tank will be in late June, and demo of the old tower will be a few weeks after that, depending on the crew that's, they're scheduled what to do that with. Is there any questions about the tower? Deferral program. We have a deferral program for traffic tickets that are written, and we have to appoint Sarah as the new, overseer, I guess, that she can, administrator, that she can collect all these tickets. So we need a motion to do that, to adopt, the deferral program administration agreement.
Yeah, I'll make a motion about the first program.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carried, Sarah will be that. Resolution, several years ago, actually, in 19, the town had put in, some new sewer drainage to the sewer plant because we were having a lot of overflows and sewer coming up in people's yards. So we needed to borrow some money from our general fund. It was $100,000. Our clerks, our previous clerks were supposed to be paying back this loan. that didn't happen. So we have $100,000 that we have a resolution to, forgive the town for paying back that loan. And why we're doing that is because our clerk that we had was not putting the money in the right accounts to begin with, so our sewer money wasn't going in the sewer, it was going in general, and it's just a big mess. So they're trying to get it all figured out. But this right here is a resolution to forgive the general account to pay back $100,000 to the sewer account.
I just want to add in that all of these resolutions and everything that we are doing has been told, for us to do by State Board of Accounts. This is what they suggest that we do to bring our accounts back into balance, to make sure that everything balances to the penny, and to make sure that all of the filth is cleaned back up. So that's why we're doing that. State Board of Accounts told us that we need to.
And our attorney is the one that drew this up.
Yes. So we need a motion to
Motion
approve.
to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve
Resolution,
resolution 2025-06.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. New business, Willow Tree Apartments.
That's a 10 thing.
Hello.
I have a drainage plan for you.
Okay.
It's a 10 thing.
We talked briefly, but haven't done contact with the construction workers to see what all is going on and how
Yes,
we can provide some drainage as he puts it back in.
we have in our budget for this year to, pour new concrete on our Nye Street parking. You guys have a substantial drain in our parking, so we came to you to inquire if, we pour all new concrete, are you guys gonna come in and tear it up if any, drainage updates happen? So I've been working with Tim and our contractor, and I think we have come up with a plan to help with the drainage,
Yeah,
hopefully.
just need to get with
and-
him and see what his ideas are, and we'll get some better drainage over.
Got it?
Yeah.
Hammer and Swagger?
Oh, yes. So, per our internal controls policy, it was suggested to us, strongly suggested to us, by the State Board of Accounts to have a CPA come in, at least once a year to go over all of our bank recs and all of our financials to make sure that everything is being receipted in, paid out properly. I have contacted one that I have worked with, for many years. She's located in Greencastle. Her name is Sonia. She is willing to come on really, really cheap to help us out. In the past, we had paid upwards of $6,000 and nothing was wrecked, nothing was done, nothing was turned in. So she's going to help me get the 2024 bank reconciliations complete for all of our accounts for the town. She's doing this for us for $100 a month, which if you know a CPA, that is ridiculous. She's gonna be helping us out. This is a wonderful thing for the town, for me, especially for me. So I would like to present it, for approval.
You have her name?
Hammer and Swigert,
No, what's her name?
Sonia Swigert. She is a licensed bonded insurance.
Sonia, with
Sonia.
a O.
Yes. CPA NEA. And so she's going to be coming in remotely, to help fix anything that we found, because there was a lot. And get everything back balanced to the penny. All of our accounts have been reset, so this is just making sure everything's clean.
So we need a motion to accept, Sonia's help for $100 a month to help with the CPA.
Do it.
I'll make a motion. Get Sonia to help with the county
I'll
for
second.
$100 a month.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. I put on here to suggest that we, put an ordinance in about bounce checks. We've got a couple people that bounce checks regularly, and it's causing, some problems. So I suggested to Sarah that if somebody bounces a check, twice, that they be put on a list that we do not take checks from them any longer. It would have to be cash or card. So I guess I just need to know if you guys wanna follow through and, make a written ordinance for that, or a resolution for that to, go into effect. If we could do that, we can do it at the next meeting.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with that.
Larry Howland.
What if they pay at the bank?
Are they paying with bad checks?
Are they?
Who's
Are
this
they?
guy?
That's a Randy question. She's our water utility clerk.
Well, I'm not
Who is that
naming
guy?
names, but we've had
But they
like
have,
3 in the last month.
At the bank?
No, I mean, they're checks.
Bad
They're
checks.
written to us, to
Yeah.
the town.
Because we don't
You don't-
post those, we just post them to your account and then they go through our
Oh, so
system,
you
so
don't
we don't.
Have an idea.
But we
Yeah.
could do cashier's checks or money orders for those people also, if you.
We
would
can let them
want.
know that.
You could
Yeah.
write out
Once they
that.
do their second one, we'll let them know that.
I
they
mean, we'll
can-
charge them, but
Yeah, but I wanna post it in the
Put the
office,
post
so if somebody comes in and says, you didn't have that, it's posted and we can say, you know, right there.
Randy has a hard enough time getting people to pay. It's extremely annoying for her to have to go back after they've written a check. That's bad.
So much fun.
Yeah.
This Larry Hanlon, is that how you say it?
Larry Hanlon.
He's the one that wants to mow the lot at the sewer
Yes.
plant and keep it for hay.
Yes.
We used to have a couple others that did that. Do you guys have any objections into letting him do that?
Who's he and where's he from?
He's
I
from,
think he
he's
lives
local. isn't he?
close to it.
He's doing, right now, he's doing right across the street from
Yeah.
Fritz's on that stretch that they're not using, so.
Oh, where Gerber from?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
He
that.
just wants to mow it and clean it up. It doesn't
He's
cost the
been
town
like
anything
that.
and he gets to keep the
Okay.
hay.
Well, we've been trying for a
Yeah,
couple of
we-
years to get somebody to go back in there and do it. and
He
nobody
came to
was
us and
interested.
seemed very interesting, so.
I can
Yeah.
call him.
Sounds
I
good to me.
think you're
If
good.
he wants to mow it,
I'm
for
good
it.
with that.
Okay.
We can go to his house, he's got a gate up.
Okay, so we don't need a motion, we just agree that you can do that. Business cards, Sarah has designed a new business card with all of our current names and, stuff on it. All 5 of us, the utilities, the, board members and clerk. The amount is $20.
They already had business cards. I
They
tried to
have
include
their
them.
own business card.
I'm always thinking of.
Well, it's just like when we were out at 900 and when they had that leak and that guy was out there and I was trying to get his lawyer to call me and stuff. It would have been nice just to hand him a card that says this has all the information.
It's nice to have a card, but you gotta carry them with you.
Yeah, so can we buy business cards for $20?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, and then we are going to do away with our mailbox at the bank so we don't have to pay rent, so we're gonna try and buy a
Post office.
mailbox at the post office. Sorry, and no, I haven't had anything. There's 2 different boxes on here, and, one's mounted on a post and one's mounted on the wall. The one mounted on the post is bigger, so I think we should go with that, and I think we discussed that at our
Yeah.
executive meeting, so. We will be purchasing a mailbox, and good old Doug gets to put it on a post. The mailbox is $251.99, so, any objections to that
Where are you gonna put that?
at the office door?
You know, a big wall one wouldn't be better, cause of the parking and the totes and all that crap out there.
Well, I don't know if we can get a wall on that.
I couldn't get any bigger than that.
We can go out here on this one.
Obviously, it's gonna be in a way out there for you.
I think,
We can maybe put it down here on this
I
side.
think Dawn and Dave could mount a
We can put
wood
it on the
piece and,
wall.
and just screw it to the back of the
Yeah.
wall.
There you
reason why he couldn't like that.
That way it'd be under the weather
We'll
too.
find out.
Last
You
time-
boys can handle it, it'll be perfect.
Okay, so you guys are okay with spending $251.99 on a mailbox and doing away with the rental at the post office, right?
Yes.
Approval of paint for the PD and the town hall.
So you
Colors?
pick colors, yeah?
We're gonna discuss it, but can we, once we discuss it, it should be, we've got a grant for it, it's not coming out of, any town funds, nobody's paid for it other than it's just coming out of a Wabash Valley grant.
Since our roof is blue, we were gonna go gray with a
Yep.
blue stripe on your part, is that good?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. So if there is any other further business, does anybody else have anything? Oh, if anybody wants to know, Chris is coming quarterly. His next dates for him to join us will be in September and November. So those are the 2 dates, or 2 months the lawyer will be here. We are working on generators still. We haven't come up with anything yet. We're working on it. So the next meeting is June 30th. It's an employee meeting, so it's just for work. And then the next town council meeting is July 1st. It's a public meeting at 6 o'clock. And we need a motion to pay bills.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. Motion to adjourn is next.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, I'll make a motion. Well, you have to make
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I closed the meeting, or it's still going.
Oh.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Meetings.
Done.
I just shut it off.
I guess we need to sign.
So we're done.
Yeah.